What up, y'all? Tina here. Let's get into some House of the Dragon news. Hey, make sure y'all subscribe to my page. Let's go. So we've recently learned some new developments about season 3 of House of the Dragon. All of this information is coming from recent interviews with the cast at a pre-Emmys party. We've learned that Rhaenyra will wield a sword this season. Now, I don't take this too seriously because last season, Baela was supposed to have a sword, and we see that never came alive. Ryan Condal also stated that filming will begin in a few weeks for season 3. Condal also spoke about, and I quote, season 2 is huge. Season 3 is huger in many ways. There are, by my quick count on stage, 4 major events from the book that we get to adapt and realize in 3 dimensions in this season. That's really exciting on a scope and scale perspective, and I think it's the thing that the show does really well. That's what Condal said. All right, so we already know that we're getting the Battle of the Gullet. Spy photos have revealed that the town of Tumbleton is in development. By the end of season 3, Rhaenyra should have already taken King's Landing. So my guess for the 4th event will probably be the Battle of Honeywine. So in this order, this is my guess of what those 4 major battles might be. I'm going with the Battle of the Gullet, Battle of the Honeywine, the Fall of King's Landing, and finally the first Tumbleton. We know Tumbleton is coming in some form or fashion because the sets of House Footley are under construction at Leafton Studio for season 3. So it's obvious they're building a set for Tumbleton, and this was the scene of 2 of the most brutal events of the Dance of the Dragon. Condal also stated the things that we're building are mind-boggling, but what I'm most excited about from a dramatic perspective is that we get to have a little fun this season, and there's a conceptual episode, meaning that it isn't in the traditional vernacular of what we've laid out as the structure of House of the Dragon. This episode is going to be very character-driven, and I think it's really great, and I'm really excited to see what is rendered. So that was another quote from him. Now, me personally, I have no idea who this character-driven episode could be about. I do have 3 guesses. And of course, number 1 is Jace. Number 2 would be a character-driven episode about Daeron. We don't know much about him, so maybe we can see what life is like from his point of view. And finally, my last guess would probably be Haela Targaryen. What I can say is I don't think the audience was super receptive to have those character-driven scenes with Daemon. Now, me, I love Daemon being in a haunted house because he bothers people, so I loved a season of him being haunted. I also think those episodes gave him great character development. Some people didn't like it, so I'm interested to see who gets one whole episode just kind of told from their perspective. I'm thinking it's Jace, but we'll see. Next up, James Norton has been cast as Ormund Hightower in House of the Dragon for season 3. His official description is Otto's nephew, Alicent and Gawain's cousin, and the Lord of Old Town. He is presently leading the Hightower host in a march on King's Landing to support his house against Rhaenyra. So that's the update on some new casting. Now, in my last video, I talked about how massive the Battle of the Gullet is expected to be. And a few days ago, the actor Abu Bakr Salim, aka Alyn of Hull, recently tweeted, the Battle of the Gullet is gonna be beastly. Now, beastly was capitalized, so I'm thinking he's probably emphasizing on the dragons that's going to be involved in the Battle of the Gullet. In Martin's book, Fire and Blood, the Battle of the Gullet sees the Triarchy, an alliance of troops from the Free City, and House Valerion's fleet take to the waters while their dragons kind of face off in the sky. In the war between Team Green versus Team Black, the Triarchy are fighting on behalf of House Hightower, and of course, we all know the Valerians are going to be on Rhaenyra's side. So yeah, we're excited to see what happens with the Battle of the Gullet. Next up, George R.R. Martin talked about how he's been getting in trouble for his blogging. This came from an interview from Collider. They were asking him about how he feels when his books are brought to life on the screen. He stated, hey, there's good and there's bad that comes from this business. He did highlight the good was Viserys from season 1 of House of the Dragon. He stated Viserys was way better on TV than anything he could have written in his books. So that was some pretty cool information. And finally, on my last video, we talked about how the executives are very pleased with the Knight of the 7 Kingdoms, mainly because George R.R. Martin seems very satisfied with the outcome of season 1. The executives, on the other hand, are happy because they spent less than $10 million on each episode, and these executives are saying that the battle sequences actually match those of Game of Thrones, but with a fraction of the price. So we shall see. We still haven't received a full trailer for the Hedge Knight yet, and the release isn't until the fall, but yo, how do you feel about some of these new developments that we just received? And who do you think gets that special episode that's kind of told from their perspective? Thanks for hanging out with me. Leave your comments below. Peace.